What's up, guys? We're about 3 days later from a weekend where we had three regionals in three different regions: Perth regionals, Lille regionals in France, and we had the Secaucus, New Jersey regionals in America take place, where we saw a bunch of different decks performing really well and a bunch of different decks do really well across the top. Just different decks winning. Um, Beedrill was a very common theme after the Indianapolis stunt that my group pulled. Mew VMAX with catchers became a very popular archetype as well. And we saw some really cool decks in the form of Gyarados VMAX. So here's going to be your very quick, brief update on what happened this weekend with as many lists as I could find. And if you guys enjoy the content, obviously like, subscribe, and let me know what decks you're interested to see for the remainder of this format. Astral Radiance does drop today, but I have a regionals left in Vancouver, but I'll be back after that for some Astral Radiance content. So let's jump in. Perth regionals, we saw RCS V-Star, Inteleon, Beedrill. We saw Bees versus Mew. RCS Inteleon versus Bees. Beedrill versus Malamar Inteleon, and then Bees versus Inteleon. So we saw Beedrill in every single one of these top 8 matchups. And then when push came to shove, we saw Matthew Burris, I believe, beating Marco Giovanni in the finals. But the really interesting thing about Matthew Burris's list was that they played 2 cross switcher in this traditional RCS Inteleon deck. Them and world champion Henry Brand kind of played this little bit of a more aggressive version, playing the 2 cross switcher and an echoing horn, kind of to have a bunch of boss outs, a way to boss and Sharon in the same turn, a way to boss and Marnie in the same turn potentially. Just be able to get a lot of stuff going in one turn, creating some sort of really cool dynamic that this list didn't have before. A little bit of a more aggressive stance that you could take. And now Natalie Muller and Kaiwin and Brent all ended up playing this list to a top 4, 9th, and 10th place finish, respectively. Playing RCS Beedrill, a very standard list, something very similar to what was seen 2 weeks ago by Isaiah Bradner. But the biggest difference is there's a Crobat V in the deck to help draw some cards and kind of just set up and play the game. Besides that, the deck is very cookie cutter and very straightforward. I do think only one money, one research is a little bit suspect, but besides that, I think it's completely okay. But yeah, overall, very good deck, very strong deck, performed over in Perth. Then we had the Lille regionals over in France, where we had RCS Gyarados Jolteon taking on Ice Rider in top 8. Not a matchup I think anyone would have expected coming into this. And then we had Dark Box Inteleon versus RCS Inteleon Moltres, so RCS Dark. And then we had Beedrill up against Dark Inteleon, and then Dark Inteleon taking on RCS Duraludon. So overall, just a lot of single prize RCS, or single prize Dark Inteleon decks, and then a couple of RCS Plus friends in top cut. We had 5 different RCS Plus friends in cut, proving that RCS Plus friends can be very strong across the board. Unfortunately, the Gyarados list has not been posted anywhere by Kai, so I'm hoping that we can see that sometime later this week. But we do see Stefan's winning a single prize Dark deck. Very cool to have the Leon in here. I think the Leon fixes a lot of numbers. I think the Leon definitely can be very aggressive with the Galarian Moltres to kind of get that like aggressive push against Mew, that aggressive push against Arceus. Very cool card here. The rest of the deck, very straightforward. Really like it across the board. Congrats to Stefan. And then we had the Ice Rider deck that got top 8 as well here. So something if you want to consider, it's like a very cool deck. It's got the Melanies. Or no, wait, there's the Melanies. I was like, where's the Melanies? There's the Melanies. There's the Marnies. A very straightforward, very consistent. Just, I got the Leon. I got the pieces. I'm going to try to blow you up. Then we have the New Jersey Regional Championships, which happened over in America. Now this was a tournament that had about 500 masters, seeing straight RCS Inteleon Mirror in top 8, and then Beedrill versus straight RCS Inteleon. Peter Giga played a very interesting list, and I will talk about that as we get into it. We had Vincent Gillette playing the Mew VMAX deck against Zach Cooper playing VMAX. Mew VMAX putting one of them in top 4. We had RCS Barrel Crobat played by Luke Smith, the eventual champion, up against Travis Beckwith's Mew VMAX. Now Luke and Peter ended up making it to the finals. The 2 decks that were not the 2 like outlier decks in this top 8 were able to make it all to the finals, with Luke ended up taking the win. We see Peter's deck here with his Hoopa, Beedrill, and Zapdos all in the same deck, giving the deck an angle of playing 4 or 3 basic different energies, Dark, Grass, and Fighting, because Beedrill only needs 1 Grass to really activate, so it gives logic to be playing other pieces if you want to. Adding in Hoopa V shores up the Urshifu matchup from Peter's side, and then you have all these pieces to kind of recycle and use those other tools. Then we saw Vincent making it all the way to top 4, playing a little bit of an unorthodox Mew VMAX list, coming in with the big Parasol, prepared for the Beedrill decks, coming in with the Pumpkaboo, prepared for the Path to the Peak. 3 different stadiums, still playing Old Cemetery, a little bit of an interesting decision, but besides that, the list is very solid and very straightforward. 3 catchers, 2 boss, something that is the new flavor of the month. The other top 4 finisher, as well as a deck in top 8, was Justin Kulas playing RC Centellion, just a very straightforward, nothing crazy list. The Fan of Waves was a really cool inclusion in their list to be able to set back the mirror matchup and just get a little bit ahead. We find this out Zach Cooper and Travis Beckwith play the same 60, which was Mew VMAX with a grip of catchers. 2 stadiums, very straightforward and very consistent across the board, keeping the horn, keeping the bosses. Just an aggressive Mew build. And I think Mew VMAX is a deck that can always do well. There's only 3 Cram and 2 Stadium, so Path to the Peak is one of those scarier matchups to deal with, but the deck was able to get there. So that is the top 8 roundup for now. If you guys enjoy the content, leave a like, subscribe. I'll be doing a prep video tomorrow for Vancouver Regionals and the rest of this format, so check that out. So goodbye, everyone, and hope to see you guys there.